So how is everyone? How's everyone going?
Yeah, good.
Settling back into the normal routine almost.
As normal as possible. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, basically we'll go just a bit of an overview what everyone's doing, and then we'll get into questions and stuff. And if anyone wants to ask anything, more than welcome. But I got a couple lined up, so yeah, here we go. So where is everyone, and what's everyone's situation for the moment?
Okay, I'm at home in Albion Park, Australia. And my training situation right now is we're just sort of getting in a lot of volume and trying to build the base and keep very fit so that eventually once races come on the schedule again, we can just sharpen up really quickly and try and get into them.
Yeah.
So I'm still in Tallahassee, Florida, in America, which is where I go to school at FSU. Just finished up the semester for school. I just finished the indoor season and found out I had a stress fracture right at the end, or stress reaction. So I've just been recovering from that. So it was kind of a bit of a blessing in disguise almost, just because it gave me something else to focus on apart from running. So I'm back running now, starting to build a base. But while I was injured, I was just doing a lot of time on the bike and just a lot of time working on like strengthening and stuff. So yeah. Been a bit of a different focus.
Yeah, that sucks. Sorry to hear you got injured.
That's all right.
I'm in Sydney, in Belrose on the Northern Beaches. I'm kind of just running at the moment as much as possible, enjoying it, sort of building up the base as well. And it's been a couple of weeks now of, pretty solid mileage for me. So I think if plans go ahead, next Saturday we'll race a 10K time trial and maybe run fast. I don't know.
Let's see what we can do.
Okay.
10K.
Are you guys thinking of time trialing anything, or any idea when races will be back up?
I just spoke to my coach before jumping on this, and we're going to probably time trial an 800 very early June.
Yeah.
Plan.
So you staying in Australia until then?
Yeah, just until kind of it. I still am waiting on my visa, so I have to wait for the consulate to reopen to get past my student visa now, because I'm not a student anymore.
Yeah.
So once I'm here until the consulate reopens and gives me the green light, basically.
For sure.
Yeah.
So how about you, Maudie? You wrapped up. Are you all done for college now, or are you?
No, so I still have another whole year here. Originally, I only had eligibility for the fall for cross country.
Yeah.
And I was in the process of trying to get eligibility back for the spring, but with coronavirus, I actually already get that back. So that's been kind of good, I guess. I mean, I would have liked to have had two more outdoor track seasons, but one more next year will still be good. So yeah, I've got one more year here, which I'm hoping will be as normal as it can be, but we'll see. But yeah, so at the moment,
how was the end of the season for you? It must have been pretty tough with.
So I was in New Mexico when we were meant to be doing pre-meet. I just arrived at the track actually, and we found out that our conference was pulling us out of nationals, which was really disappointing. And we kind of, had an inkling that the whole meet was going to get cancelled as schools were just pulling out one by one. But, we still saw so many people still like doing their pre-meet and stuff. And they're like, no, we're still going to be racing. Like the meet's going to go ahead. So it was just kind of a weird couple of hours, like wondering what was going to happen. And obviously just so much disappointment. It was my first nationals, like the track. So I was really excited. It is what it is. But yeah, I wish I could have had the opportunity to race, but I was glad I got to be there and had a really good indoor season of running some personal best stuff.
Yeah. I mean, because you guys have all been hitting your straps with college running. Obviously, Jess, you sort of came a massive amount, and then Maudie, like big season, and Josh on the way up. So what do you guys put your success in the NCAA down to? Like what I don't know, what processes do you guys go through as runners to get the most out of yourselves?
One thing I think that really helps over here is like the team aspect of it. I think at home it very much more feels like an individual sport, but over here, you know, you have all your teammates like pushing you, you're working together, like just constantly helping you to improve and stuff like that. And just almost a higher level of competition. Like
Yeah,
you're always going to have competition, always people to compete against. So like that's really helpful.
for sure.
Yeah, definitely the structure of having a team around you, because it's like training is harder at a whole nother level when you can be pushed by your teammates and push your teammates back in a
Yeah,
good way, not super competitively at training, obviously. But yeah, definitely just having a team around you and then learning how to race and perfect your racecraft in NCA is really like really valuable.
for sure. Josh?
Yeah, I think for me, like what I'm starting to learn is, you know, how like just kind of going all in on your team and, you know, the people around you who are supporting you is like the mental side of it is really important that way. And also just, you know, if you're in the right place for you and you're stringing together consecutive months of training,
Yeah,
um, you know, with the support around you from trainers and, you know, world-class coaches, like if you trust them, kind of follow their rules and, you know, the way they believe things should be done and you believe it yourself, then, you know, you can
yeah.
get pretty successful from it, which you all have seen. So, yeah.
Do you guys feel it's a year by year thing? You sort of get stronger each season?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely the college coaches over that I had at the University of Oregon kind of looked at it as a long-term approach, like
Yeah,
year to year. They didn't throw mileage at me or volume at me from freshman year. We kind of just gradually built our way up, and same with the intensity of the workouts and
yeah,
races. Like I never raced a 5K and seriously until I was a senior. They didn't just throw it all at me because I was a freshman. We
yeah,
did it very calculated.
for sure. Because how was this year, first year out, you raced the Australian season again? Was that different or did it work out pretty sweet?
Yeah, well, I guess I sort of raced the Australian season. I only did the 5K at Melbourne Track Classic,
Yeah,
but I did intend to come back and run the 1500 at Outdoor Nationals in March as well. It wasn't super different because we're used to, with the indoor season running the same weeks from January to March, it kind of wasn't too different to add some domestic racing back in because we were used to being pretty fit at that time of the year. The hardest part was the travel back and forth. I think it took us about a month afterwards. My coach kind of said, he was like, I think the return trip took a bit more out of you than you thought it did.
yeah,
Yeah, because we just weren't quite hitting the marks in training after the 5K. But yeah, once we sort of took a step back and realized that it was probably the long hauls that did that, it was very good to kind of acknowledge that and know for going forward next year, if we've got to come back and forth a couple of times, we've just got to
yeah.
be a bit more diligent about it.
Because you based in Portland over there or?
Yeah, I'm based in Portland, but we don't spend a ton of time there. We kind of try and follow the sun. So I spent January, February in Phoenix, which was perfect for running. It was
Yeah,
beautiful weather. So yeah, and then once we usually get to about May or June, we'll be overseas. But this year looks a bit different.
yeah. Maudie, do you have an idea of what you want to do after college?
I'm not too sure. Kind of just going to see how the next sort of year and a half plays out. I would love to keep running after college if that is an opportunity. You know, there is World Champs and Com Games the year after I graduate, so there is a lot of opportunity there, but sort of just going to have to see how my last year in NCAA goes. But one more big year, hopefully can achieve some things that year and then just see where we go.
Another
Yeah.
couple of nationals?
Yeah, hopefully can get out on the track at nationals and actually get a race underway.
Yeah. How about you, Josh? Do you think spending time overseas in college, does that make you want to stay in America and train after you're done, or where do you see yourself?
I'm not sure, you know, I've always been thinking about this. I always joke with mum saying like, oh, I'm not staying there after college, but you never know how things turn out, you know, like one
Yeah,
race can be like the difference between, you know, coming back home or staying. But I mean, thankfully the group I was training with before leaving for college, you know, is quite a a solid group down here in Sydney, obviously with ties to Melbourne Track Club. So if that's an option, that would be awesome. But I mean, if, something else comes, I guess I got to just wait and see. I'm not right now at the level where I'm, getting offers or anything like that, but obviously that's the goal. So we'll have to just wait and see how far I can go.
I mean, that's the thing. We did have a pretty good group going for a bit before everyone headed off.
Exactly.
Maybe
Yeah.
we'll bring that back. Where do you guys always see yourselves 12 months from now? Olympics next year, racing back on hopefully by then.
Hopefully, yeah. I would imagine, just based on the brief conversations we've kind of looked at in 12 months' time, we just follow the same plan we're going to follow this year. We'll just be a little bit stronger and a little bit fitter for the next year.
Maudie?
Well, yeah, 12 months' time, I guess I'll be hopefully going into outdoor season here in my final semester at FSU. So there'll be a lot of big changes coming up, sort of just figuring out what I'm going to do, if I am going to head home or if I'm going to stay here. I've always sort of, as Josh was saying, I've always said to my parents, no, I'll come back, I'll live at home, which, I mean, my plan overall is that I will, settle down in Australia, but as for the next, 5 years, I don't really know what I'll be doing, and just got to wait and see how my running goes and what opportunities I get, but just enjoying it while I can, and just want to enjoy my last year in the NCAA, so hopefully everything gets back to normal relatively soon.
Yeah. Josh, 12 months?
I don't know. Hopefully back at Villanova, running with the boys. I think it was our Big East, or was it Big East or regionals maybe, that was going to be this last weekend. So, would have been gearing up for some
coming up to
is it conference? Yeah. So, could have been, celebrating a conference win or something. Getting ready for regionals and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know plans with red shirting 1 year. I haven't used any red shirts yet. So, we'll talk to coach and see what he thinks about that. But I mean, this whole time now is essentially like, you're not racing. It's kind of like a red shirt year if you're just progressing with mileage and things. So, we'll just wait and see what he says.
Sure. Yeah, can't argue with that. So I got a couple of questions and stuff, guys. And then if anyone wants to ask anything, more than welcome. But first one, who's your most memorable training partner you've run with?
Constance Klosterhalfen.
And why?
She's just a machine in everything we do. She just doesn't seem to get tired, and she just is a beast in all her workouts.
Do you guys live together as well then?
We don't live together. We live in the same complex, but different apartments,
Yeah. Maudie?
A girl, Milica, she was on our team last year. She's from Bulgaria. She ran the marathon at the Olympics in Rio before she started at FSU, and then she sort of transitioned into a 5K, 10K runner, but just her mentality in training was very impressive. She pushed everything really hard, and she was a big sort of role model on our team, big motivator, and I learned a lot from her. And she's I think in Kenya right now, but she's still always sending me, positive messages, very motivating, and she's just been a great person to have around and sort of give me aspirations for the future and stuff like that.
Josh?
I can see the light bulb going on in Ed's head saying, I can run the marathon in the NCAA.
Yes.
I mean, it would be rude not to mention you, Ed. I mean, we, ran a lot of miles together, a lot of K reps for a long time before we left. So I mean, yeah, you'd definitely be up there. Training group with me, you, and Kev, and some of the other boys was pretty special. But at the moment, with the guys I'm training with, I've got my best mate Charlie O'Donovan, Irish guy who's at Nova with me. He's been great to train with. In the last few months, he's been more running the mile while I've been training for the 5K. But he's a great person to run with. Pretty driven guy as well. So yeah.
What about the most memorable race you've run in?
NCAA's 2018, last 1500 at Haywood.
Yeah.
yeah, just pretty special to have the Hayward crowd and be so loud, even when it was a rainy day. But that's pretty fitting for Eugene. So
Sure.
perfect way to send off Hayward Field.
You looking forward to getting on the new track when it's? Is
Oh,
it?
yeah. Yeah, I seen something today that they're only a few more weeks away from being completed. I know they were having Pac-12s there if
Yeah.
the season had gone ahead as normal, so it probably would have been finished. But given the virus, it's kind of slowed things down a bit. But it looks incredible from every
Yeah.
picture I've seen. So I'm keen to get out there once that's open again.
For sure. Maudie?
I'm trying to think. Probably in track, we race a meet called Azusa. Used to see Jess there sometimes out in California. The last 2 years, that's where I've run my personal best in the 1500. Last year I ran a 4:16 there, so it was a pretty big personal best. So that was really exciting, and just it always has such a good atmosphere there. But then also I'd say probably like the most exciting one I've also had was in cross country. We have our regionals for cross country on our home course most years. And so this was 2 years ago, and my team, the girls team for FSU, we made it to nationals for the first time in like 4 or 5 years. So it was the first time for all of us to be going to a cross country nationals, and we run regionals, which wasn't really super expected. So it was just a really exciting day for us.
Yeah.
1, winning, and then 2, realizing we were all heading off to our first nationals cross country. So that was a really exciting day. And then it was also on our home course. So we just had a lot of supporters there and stuff, which is always exciting in cross country because, you know, we don't get loads of fans, but yeah.
Josh?
For
Most
me,
memorable?
it would have been. What'd you say, Ed?
Yeah, the most memorable race.
Oh, right, yeah. For me, it probably would have been regional cross this year. I had a little bit of a breakthrough run there. I came third the previous year. I think I was 25th or something like that. You know, it was kind of a surprise. I'd ran pretty poorly at our conference 2 weeks prior. I was 18th or something. I had a few sort of issues with like eating the right things on race day, which I thought was pretty easy to do, but you know, it's pretty easy to do those things wrong as well, as I learned.
Yeah.
So I got those sort of things right, and I came third. But running with the boys was amazing. The whole race, a whole like pack of Nova boys was just sitting off like the lead group of about 5 or 6 guys. You know, and we were just sort of running together, and it was pretty special just knowing you got your whole team around you, and every turn you make, you hear the crowd, or the crowd, I guess. You know, be like, oh, is that Villanova? Like the whole team's in the top 10, and you know, we won pretty convincingly that day, and it was just really special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, that college like team aspect you guys talk about, that's just something you just don't get back home. So I guess your first experience of that is pretty unreal. What
For
about
sure.
a race you'd go? Would you go back and change any race if you had the opportunity to?
Maybe Wisconsin cross country nationals. I think that was also 2018. I'd probably rerun the last 500 meters. But it was so snowy and so cold. And maybe change the weather conditions.
I'd probably say last year at regionals track, I really wanted to, I was sort of positioned to qualify for my first nationals for outdoor, and I was just so nervous. I really wanted to get there, and I just got the nerves get the better of me and wasted a lot of energy in the couple hours leading up to the race. So I think now with just more experience under my belt and all that, and having more confidence in training and things like that, that race could have gone a lot better, and maybe would have had the opportunity to have run a nationals. So
Yeah.
and next year wouldn't be so daunting trying to, you know, run my first nationals in my final year, but you know.
Sure.
I think for me, it would have been National Cross this year in Terre Haute.
Yeah.
It was so muddy, and you know,
Yeah.
a couple of weeks prior to that at pre-nats, I ran really well on that course, so I had a lot of confidence going in. But you know, kind of getting through that mud was something I was not used to, and I didn't realize, you know, how the group goes out, the pack goes out, and after about 3 kilometers, I don't think the positions changed almost at all.
Yeah.
And I think if I'd known that, I would have committed a little bit more at the start, just to sit a bit higher up in the field, because once you're in sort of the middle of the pack, back of the pack, you're not really moving up. So that was quite disappointing, especially after a good regionals a week before. So that would definitely be the one I'd have to change.
Yeah.
Kara, brutal.
Yeah,
Jason,
not good.
Just to change the last 500 and you change the first 500.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably the first 9K I would change, and then sprint harder at the end.
What about pre-race superstitions? Is there anything you guys have to make sure is done?
I had more superstitions when I was in high school. I don't really have too many now. When like I kind of try and keep it pretty simple, so that if you can't get something that you're used to, or something does change, it doesn't sort of throw you off. But yeah, nothing super that I stick to every single time. I have a pretty solid race day routine, but nothing's like overly superstitious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say the same. I don't have any superstitions, but yeah, I just like to keep it relaxed, keep it chilled. I'm someone that also does like to just chat with people, keep it lighthearted. I'm not really a get in the zone kind of person. You'll never really see me with headphones in or anything. I just like to stay relaxed, stay chatting, so I don't get too in my head.
Yeah.
I'm laughing. My superstition's really, really funny, but
Oh, no.
I have to shave my legs 2 days before the race. It can't be the day before, because, you know, I don't know who it was like joking about it years ago, but I heard someone say, it might have even been at Falls one year or something, that if you shave your legs the day before, like you don't get as much power in your legs. So it just stuck with me, and 2 days before, be sitting in the bathtub or the shower doing that. So that's the only one.
I know what you mean, because I've heard the haircut the day of the race is bad. I think Kev Bat was the one who said that. So I can vouch for that. I have had a bad race on the day I've cut my hair. So
What happens if you forget to shave your legs 2 days before?
Yeah, do you not
I don't
shave
know,
it?
to be honest.
Hasn't happened yet?
It just makes me very uneasy, but I will be honest, it happened. I think at conference this year, and I did actually run pretty well. So it's like, I still want to stick by it, but if it happens to be that I'll shave them the day before, I just have to be like ready to run harder, you know?
it is funny, but like I remember at the last race of the season, I was going to wear my arm slip and I could not find them anywhere, and I was just throwing my bag in the ground trying to like search through it. But I guess it's one of those things, once you sort of overcome it in that moment, she'll be right.
That's the attitude.
Sure.
Exactly.
What about, I saw, so following off one of the questions I've been asking some of the others is biggest power move in running. So it might be working out in joggers when everyone else is working out in flats or spikes. Or I know Morgan McDonald was talking about a teammate kept on looking around in workouts, looking back to make sure, to check where he was. So if anyone got any power moves that they pull or get pulled on them?
In my first few cross-country seasons at Oregon, Ashley Mayton was a senior. She had 2 seasons left with me. And she used to, when you were starting to get dropped in tempos or like hard efforts, she used to put her hand back and you had to get back onto her and like high-five her hand. And it was kind of like, I can't leave her hanging, so I'm going to get back on pace. That was really helpful.
Yeah. Maudie?
Oh, I'm trying to think. I don't know. Josh, you go.
I don't know. For me, power move might be on our long run. We call it Double Mountain, and it's done in like Valley Forge National Park, like in Philadelphia. Well,
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know, around there. And so obviously Double Mountain, 2 big mountains, and if we usually we'll cruise most of the run, but when we get to the mountains, we'll sort of go hard. And if you're, first guy up there, then I would say that's a bit of a power move because people go pretty hard and they're not going to let you get away. But
Sure.
yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Any come to mind?
I'm trying to think. There's, I do think it's always funny in training. I am known to be a bit of a loud breather. I'm always breathing very heavily. So everyone's always thinking they've got me beat or they've got me dropped. And I will always usually come home strong with a fast kick and surprise people. So I do like always kind of tricking people, thinking I'm unfit with my horrendous breathing, but I don't know what it is. If you've run with me, you know, don't you, Jess?
I always just think it's because you like to talk. So I'm like, she needs to
I do think that is a bit too. Yeah.
What about best running memory? It could be a workout, it could be a training camp, or just even a team visit in New South Wales or World Juniors, whatever it may be.
I think like the simple thing would be pretty much my whole season that before Lily Burden transferred to Washington. Just we had so much fun from indoor to outdoor. We were each other's training partners for pretty much everything. But we just had so much fun. Every session was enjoyable. We laughed a lot. We worked hard. We raced fast. It was just like in the whole, like that's been my best block of training, I think, and most enjoyable block of training. And a lot of it was in credit to Lily.
Sure.
Yeah, I'd say like my time at FSU has just been really good. I've just enjoyed it a lot, and I'd say like last cross country season was just a lot of fun. I always, although like track's definitely what I prefer and everything like that, I always find training in cross country a lot more enjoyable because you do have all your teammates who are all doing a lot of the same things, and sort of progressing into track season, I was a little bit more on my own with workouts. A lot of the girls are more 3K, 5K based. So once it sort of moved into me doing the 1500s, I was a little bit alone because some of our 1500 runners were injured. So I think that just really made me appreciate cross country season and having everyone there, and just realizing how much fun it really is to have a team around you, everyone pushing each other, motivating each other. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think for me, it would have to be probably making World Junior Cross Country the year we went to Uganda. That was a race that I had been, the trials was a race that I'd been training for so long. I went to Falls for the first time in the lead up for it. And, just those times of running where everything's just going perfect for weeks on end. And you're kind of like running thinking, oh, like, when's it going to get bad, or like what's going to happen next, like where's the pothole in the road? But it didn't come, and I had a really good race and made that team, and I think that was just a great week as well. A lot of good mates on the trip as well. Yeah,
for sure. Last question. Favorite place you've trained and somewhere you really want to train?
Favorite place would be St. Moritz, Switzerland. It was just like magic. Everything looked like a green screen, like a movie screen had just been put there. And then somewhere I would like to train would be Kenya. I'd like to get over there, see what that's all about.
Sure.
Favorite place I probably change every year. Well, my first 2 years we went to a camp in Boone in North Carolina, and just lots of pretty trails up there. And it's always just a great place. Everyone's just come back from a long summer by themselves, and then you're all back with the team. So I think good memories of the team, and also nice pretty trails up there. And a lot of places I'd love to go run. St. Moritz is one that looks amazing. And also I would like to go to Flagstaff over here in the US, where a lot of runners get some good training in. So yeah.
I mean, maybe if racing doesn't start up in the fall.
Exactly. Yeah. That's some good training in over there.
You guys,
definitely a nice of mine.
Do you reckon racing will be on next semester, or anyone got the inside scoop?
Unsure of now. There's been talk of maybe racing, but racing a lot more locally, not traveling as much. and things like that, but then I don't know how it would work with things like nationals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think still a lot of unknowns. I've been told there might be some more answers June, July kind of time. So I think we'll just have to wait and see.
For sure. At least you have summer in Florida.
Sorry?
At least you have summer in Florida.
Yeah, the weather is very nice.
Josh, training locations?
I don't know. I would say favorite place to run. I mean, I love Sydney just for all of its amazing places to run.
Yeah.
I haven't been to like Centennial Park much, since I've been back. But running around the beaches, I've got Narrabeen Lake here, which is pretty much a staple every week. I'll be there for the next 3 days of running. But I've recently been running on West Head Road, out which looks over towards like Galston Way up the coast, I believe it is. I don't know if it's up or down. And that's really nice. It's just an open road, really hilly. There's a lot of cyclists there in the morning, and I'm usually the only one running, so they think I'm crazy, which is pretty funny. I think one of the places I really want to run is probably Colorado. I haven't read any books about it, as a lot of people have, but it just looks like an amazing place. Probably Colorado. A lot of the boys from Villanova have been there in the past summers, so that would be cool.
For sure. And can we get a quick glimpse of your new haircut as well before we wrap?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Sign on.
little. I don't know if you can see much there. Just a little bit of a functional haircut, It doesn't go on my eyes. It doesn't bother my ears. Mum doesn't really like it though. I'm not sure why.
You look great. You look great, Josh.
It's step one into running quick next weekend.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll have to shave this when I shave my legs, just to make sure it's extra streamlined.
2 days before.
Aerodynamics.
Exactly. Yep.
Nice.
That's the way.
Sure. Yeah, no, thanks so much guys for joining. It's good to keep in touch.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for having us.
Nice to see you.
Everyone smile. Sweet.
Yeah, no, all the best with everything, and probably won't see you for a bit, Maudie, until you get back over, but Josh.
Yeah, who knows when I'll be back.
We'll catch up soon.
Sounds good.
See you soon,
Hope
Ed.
everyone's well.
Yeah, stay safe.
You too, guys.
Say
See you
hi
guys.
to parents for me, Jess and
And
Ed.
likewise.
Will do. See ya.
Yeah.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. Sweet.